Hey, Joe Cochran here from ComfortTac, and we are shooting episode 5 of Becoming a Better Shooter. And today is an update day. It's Thursday. I'm shooting for time. We're going to compare that to last week's schedule. And you might notice I'm wearing a GoPro. I'm doing this today just so I can give you guys a view right down the barrel while I'm shooting the target. And so you can just kind of see the point of view as I'm drawing and shooting. You can see this angle here. You'll see when you look down the GoPro camera that I've got another camera positioned over here that's getting video of the timer itself. So I'm trying to give you guys all the different views and angles so you can see exactly what I've got going on here. Through this last week, I have been doing all of my practicing. So we'll cut to some other footage here. On Mondays, I was drawing from concealment and just practicing the draw itself. Tuesdays, I was working on my sight alignment, pressing the gun out from the low ready position, trying to index my sights. Wednesday, I was working on trigger control. I would set the target up kind of longer distance and work on just squeezing that trigger straight back every time. And then today's Thursday, and it's time to work on drawing from the holster. But prior to that, we're going to start this by shooting on our target. So we're doing this cold to make sure that our times are fair each week. So let's go ahead and shoot our 5 shots on target and see how it goes. Go ahead and get our target turned on here. It's already in, should be in the proper mode. P2 is our mode. Here we go. That was too quick. Wasn't ready. .26. .42. 1.98. 2.16. 2.09. All right, let's go ahead and shoot from low ready. .39. 0.98. 1.11. 1.07. 1.20. All right, so we've got our 5 shots from concealment. We've got our 5 shots from low ready. We'll go ahead and get our averages put on the board, and we'll do a follow-up and compare. Okay, so here we are at the whiteboard. I've got the new times posted up here. You can see that there was a 2-week gap between shooting. I just didn't have time to get the test done last week, so we pushed out 2 weeks. So you can see that we picked up basically 0.284 second improvement. So almost 0.3 of a second improvement from 2 weeks ago. You see we did have 1 shot under our 2-second goal, 1.98 seconds. The ultimate goal is to get all of these under 2 seconds. So we've got 1 in there. We had a 2.09, a 2.16. Those are all very close, a 2.182. But then we had that 2.42 and 2.26, which really took the average up. I really feel like I should have had about a half a second gain here if I wouldn't have thrown those 2 shots. So just something to keep in mind. From the low ready position, we actually went backwards by 0.03 of a second, and that's such a small, minute change that I would really just feel comfortable saying that from low ready we had almost no change, which shows you that I didn't really pick up speed from indexing, and that is something that I'm so far seeing that I'm having a little bit of a problem with as far as pressing the gun out and indexing those sights. A lot of times I draw, I press the gun out, and I can feel that almost half a second that it takes me before I'm on target enough to pull the trigger. So that's something I really want to work on this week from the low ready position, is just pressing the gun out and getting on target and pulling that trigger. Yeah, week over week from the holster, almost 0.3 of a second. That's not too bad for 2 weeks time practice, especially when you consider I probably only put in about an hour per week of dry fire practice. Maybe a little more than that, maybe pushing closer to 2 hours each week. But you know, for maybe between 2 and 4 hours worth of dry fire practice, I picked up nearly 0.3 of a second. I think with another 2 weeks, I should see another, you know, 1/4 of a second. So I might be averaging about a half a second lower, and I think we'll start to get very close to that under 2 second time for our drawing from the holster. So I do want to mention in our next video, we actually just got in the reset trigger that we've been talking about. So the reset trigger, what it does is you install this. This is for my Glock 19, and what it allows you to do is to continue just pulling the trigger without having to rack the slide. So with this, I'll be able to practice double taps and multiple shots without having to constantly rack the slide. I think it's going to be an invaluable tool, but we'll see. I've done double taps and multiple target shooting in real life before. I have done a little bit of USPSA competitive shooting in the past. This was years ago, but I really struggled with it. You know, the second shot, a lot of times I would throw. So my first shot would be dead on, but my second shot would be off the target or way to the left. And so I'm hoping that this tool is going to help me dial that in, and then we'll again take that to the live range. I've still got to find a range that'll let me do double taps and things like that, but we'll get to the point where we can test that out and see if there's a real improvement there. So excited to get this. I'm going to do a video on installing it, and then we'll do some reviews on it down the road after I've had some time with it. So that's it for this week. Like I said, I'm going to wrap this video up with a little bit of a review of where I think I picked up time here. So let's go check that out. All right, so here's one of my sessions from last week, and when you watch this, you'll see how much I'm moving my upper body. This is where on the draw I think I picked up a lot of time, because while I was doing this dry fire, this was just my draw sessions on Monday, I felt like I was smoking. I felt like I was going fast. I felt like I was smooth. And then when I came back and reviewed the video, I saw how much I was dipping my shoulder and ducking my head and just moving my entire upper body just to draw the gun. And it stood out like a sore thumb from that point, how badly I was moving around and all that wasted energy. So I decided that in my next session, that's what I was going to focus on, was smoothing that out. Here's my next session, and you can see that I'm not slowing these down because I don't need to. You can see how much more upright I'm staying, how much I'm not moving my body around. That helped me get on target faster. It actually helped me come out of the holster much smoother and faster and more consistent. And it was just a huge change. So watching yourself on video and, you know, taking the time to just review yourself as you go is huge. Looking at each aspect to see where you can pick up a little time is going to really help you out. It really helped me out. If I wouldn't have had that video, I would have thought I was doing fine, and clearly I wasn't. So I think this is where I picked up that speed week over week on the shooting, and hopefully next week we can focus more on indexing the sights and pick up some speed there. I appreciate you watching this series, and if you have any questions or feedback, feel free to post comments below or shoot an email to info@ComfortTac.com. If you want to support this channel and what we're doing, head over to ComfortTac.com and pick up a holster. We appreciate you, and thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.